right from Tadasana, mountain pose, standing here, feeling the earth supporting underneath your feet. You can feel the energy moving up with your inhales, all the prana that's within you. Bring your hands in through to heart center, and let's take a big step with your right leg wide, and we'll have our feet about twice the width of our hips. So we have toes turning in, heels turning out. I'm just going to bring my hands onto my waist, lift the top of my chest up towards the sky, and then let's take a wide-legged forward fold. So we'll tip it all the way down, and I have my block here, which is nice and handy. So if I want to bring that there, maybe put my head on it. I want to focus more of the weight traveling in towards my toes, and then hands are really going to go wherever they feel good, wherever you feel you can continue to breathe. So no specific place. I'm going to let you just play around with what your needs are today. Generally though, of course, if you haven't practiced before, I should give you a little guidance. Hands are going to land underneath the shoulders first. And then we're just going to draw that weight again into the toes, okay? And hands can walk closer so that they're in line with the feet. Maybe they come all the way behind you. So there's lots of ways that you can progress this. Take just a couple more breaths. And then start to inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring your hands onto your waist. And then inhale, we'll draw all the way back up. Let's take our right toes and turn them open now and set up for a warrior two. So really reaching, energizing forward and back so that you're not just kind of reaching in front of you, but also thinking of that space behind you, squaring your chest towards the side wall. And then let's take it up with the arms, inhale, and then exhale, let's take it forward into triangle. Bring your right hand down to the ground and reach your left arm up to the sky. I feel good in this stance. If it's too long or too short, you can always adjust that left foot, back leg. I'm gonna look up towards the sky. That is kind of aggravating on your neck. I encourage you, maybe just look forward. Maybe you look down towards the ground. Take another breath. And then inhale, draw yourself all the way up, and then turn your toes in, and we'll do it to the other side. So left toes turn out. We'll set up for warrior two. Again, big bend in the left knee, opening the arms, reaching equal either direction. I'll bring my arms up to the sky, straighten my left leg, and set up for triangle. So reach left arm towards the inside of my left shin, and right arm up towards the sky. And I can feel that nice opening in the inside of my left leg, kind of a little nice tug at the top of my right hip. Big, big breath. Slowly inhale, bring yourself up, and let's turn our toes so that they face in. And now I'm going to prepare for Skandasana. So bring your hands in through heart center, ninja. I'm going to bend deep into my right leg and extend through my left leg. And then you have your options for your hands. So if you need some support, you could bring hands onto a block. You have some options with your feet. My heel is lifted right now. I could take a wider stance. Bring my heel to the ground, and I can always play around with like arms, right? If I want to challenge, make this a little more strong, a little more powerful, and lift the arms away from the ground. Take another breath, and then press up. Inhale. Okay, set up for the other side. Hands are going to come to heart center. I'm going to sink down into my left leg. Out of the way, I don't need that right now. Again, I can take that option with my foot flat. That's going to, for me, I feel a greater stretch the inside of my right adductor, my inner thigh. But you might feel better with your foot that way, right? If your sole of your foot doesn't like toes being tucked, arms reaching, whatever feels good. Take a few more breaths. And then inhale, push yourself up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's heel toe our feet in a couple of times. And then come into Malasana, yogi squat. So I'm gonna bring myself all the way down. And I could bring a block underneath my sits bones if I wanted to. I'm gonna just enjoy the stretch, let my tailbone lengthen. Take a few breaths. And then bring your hands back down towards the ground and slowly inhale, lift the hips up, up, up. Heel toe your feet, hip width distance apart. And then slide hands up on the shins, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Let's take Padangusthasana, big toes with the middle finger, index finger, and thumb. I'm actually gonna just turn myself sideways here so you guys can see the fold. Okay. Lift the sits bones up, tip the weight into the toes, let the head surrender. Take a few breaths. Elbows pulling to the sides of the room. Tailbone lifting. And then slowly release. Inhale. Halfway lift, hands onto your shins, and then exhale to forward fold. Take yourself to turn so that you are coming into that length weight on your mat, and then step back into plank pose if you would. So shoulders and wrist stacking, legs are strong. We can kind of play forward and back on the toes. A little bit of core work. If you want to go ahead for that flow, go ahead. And if you want to just head on back to down dog, that's where we're going to join. So big toes touch at the back of the mat. We're going to bring the knees wide and sink hips back towards the heels. Come back into our child's pose. Just a few more openings for the hips before we settle down onto our backs. Let's take ourselves back to downward facing dog. Take your right leg floated up to the sky. Knee forward towards your right wrist for pigeon pose. Extend your left leg behind you. Untuck the toes. If you need an option, if this doesn't work for your knees, you could fall on your back right now. Come onto your back and cross your right leg over to your left. That'd just be an option for you. Otherwise, just coming into your pigeon. Taking, good 8 to 10 breaths here. Last couple breaths. When you're ready, plant your hands to the ground and untuck your left toes under, I should say, and reach your right leg back behind you. Inhale, breath, three-legged dog. If you want to take a flow, go ahead. If you want to take it back to down dog, plant that foot to the ground, and then we'll just take it back to the other side. So toes to the back of your mat. Reach your left leg up to the sky and take your left knee towards your left wrist. Extend your right leg straight back behind you. Find that balance in the hips. Shin is wherever it feels good for you. Some people are really flexible. I'm a yoga instructor, but I'm also a personal trainer, so I kind of fall in the middle. I'm not super flexible, but I'm not unflexible either. So, but let yourself release. Take that shape that feels good. Last couple of breaths here. Get ready to slowly lift away from the ground. Hands will plant. Right toes will tuck under. Left leg will send it back. Three-legged dog. Again, that option to flow or come into your down dog. And then from down dog, we're gonna look through our hands and exhale, we'll pop ourselves all the way through, coming to a staff pose. So we're gonna find Paschimottanasana now. So arms are gonna reach all the way up, big breath in, and then exhale, we're gonna take it forward over our thighs. And just release, let yourself stretch out the back body, the hamstrings. This is an intense body stretch, like the whole body should feel a stretch. And then I'm going to slowly start to lift up as I take my next inhale, and then I'm going to guide myself all the way onto my back as I exhale. My knees can travel in towards my belly. I'm going to give myself a really big hug and squeeze because, you know, I just practice yoga and that's pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm going to take my feet for happy baby. So grab the outer edges of your feet. Lengthen your tail. Let your sacrum rest. Maybe play happy baby or just be a restful baby, whatever you need. We're just about done. So of course, if there's anything else that's calling to you before you finish and land into your resting Shavasana, then you're gonna take that opportunity for yourself. I'm gonna let my legs release all the way down to the ground. Feet plant. Arms are gonna just be to my sides. I'm gonna let my knees drop right to left a couple of times. I'll let my knees land over to my right, look over my left, take a couple of breaths here. And then again, right and left a couple of times. And then I'll land over to my left side, hang out there 3 breaths or so. Look over my right side. And then again, head comes back to center, knees come back to center. I can go right to left. I'm gonna move my knees back in for one more great big hug. And then I'm gonna let myself rest and take my legs away from me, my arms away from me, and lengthen the neck. Let every part of myself rest into the mat. Take one final deep breath in through your nose. Nice long sigh. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Please rest in your Shavasana as long as you need today.